side, the little button. Here. Hello. Good, go.
Let's try this again.
You went to sleep.
Another round of applause for our musicians. We have Arturo, Izzy, and Rick with us this morning. So welcome. We're glad to see all of our in-house congregants and also our Zoom congregants. Our Zoom crowd is growing, and we're real thankful for the people that are attending on Zoom, as well as the ones that come in person. This is not our first event today. Most of us think this is the first thing that happens on Sunday morning. Well, it isn't. We have the Trust Circle. I would like for Miss Jamie Donaldson to stand up. You might come up here, Jamie, let people see you. Would you like to say a word about the Trust Circle?
I'll make it quick.
She didn't know I was going to do that.
The Trust Circle meets at 9:30 on Sunday mornings, and we have it both by Zoom and up in the Purple Room, so it's a hybrid. And we are going with Parker Palmer's work, A Hidden Wholeness. So a Trust Circle is a little bit different than your typical discussion. It's a container where your inner wisdom, your soul, speaks to yourself. And we hold space for that, and it's really a beautiful thing. Love for you to join us. If you would like to get a link or come at 9:30, email me, and it's all on the website and in the bulletin.
Thank you, Jamie. Jamie is also the president of our board. She does a lot of work.
Amen.
If you'll check the lobby table, the first table, when you go out, everything on that table is free. We have some books people have brought. We have calendars, if you don't have a calendar for 2022, and the schedule for the week. And Jesse's talk is on the table, the flyers up there. Starting in February the 1st, it's on a Tuesday, every Tuesday night. Jesse's presenting eightfold, let me look at it, the eightfold path, and he'll talk about that later. He knows more about it than I do. Or we hope he does anyway. Be sure to introduce yourself to somebody today. And it doesn't matter if you know them already or not. Maybe you have forgotten their name. Some of us are suffering from COVID brain.
Yes.
And we know we're supposed to know somebody, but for the life of us, we can't come up with the name. So just say, hey, my name is, and they'll tell you who they are. And introduce yourself to somebody. In fact, right now, take a second and just look at your neighbor and say good morning. The closest person, just good morning.
Good morning. I'm Tina. I'm Marietta. Yes, ma'am.
And the last thing I have today is if you would like to participate in the Sunday service, either as platform assistant, meditation facilitator like Carol Clarke will be doing this morning, or video, we could use some extra people. You know, people have to go on vacation periodically and people get sick periodically. So we'd like at least 3 or 4 people in each area. I have a sign-up sheet out in the lobby, or see me. We'll have a training session coming up soon if you'd like to participate. And now for our meditation, we have Carol Clarke.
Good morning, Unity family.
Good morning.
So to prepare for our meditation, let us put aside the things from our laps, and you may want to sit with your spine erect and your feet flat on the floor. Sometimes that helps to get us grounded. I'm going to have my singing debut up here because I want to teach you a little chant that we want to start with. Many of you may remember it. It's a Unity of Birmingham classic. The words say, I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. right now, right now. And I'm gonna give you a sense of the tune, and this is gonna be my solo singing debut, so.
Come back, y'all.
So yeah, y'all gotta help me, but I'm gonna rush the tune just so you get a sense of the melody. It goes, I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. Okay, y'all got it, okay. I didn't know, we have a lot of new members, so I didn't know if anybody would remember it, but it was one of my favorites that we would do here to really get ourselves centered and prepared for meditation, and our breathing gets synchronized. So we're just gonna do two verses of that. Together. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. Again, I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. So I invite you to gently close your eyes, and we'll take a few deep breaths together. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out, set free. Again, breathing in, I am. And breathing out, limitless. And finally, breathing in, I am. Breathing out, love in action. So let us start our day over right now with an assumption that we are immersed in a powerful vibration of God's pure, unconditional love. God is expressing its brilliance and creative genius through you, as you. Our lives are God's love song. Our thoughts are harmonious love notes. Our words, melodies of tenderness, comfort, and beauty. Wherever we go, our presence is a fragrance of peace and healing. We share our love without restrictions. When we find discord, we declare peace. Where there is separation, we are the uniting force of love. The world takes notice of our walk in love. Now let us silently affirm, I surrender to the mystery of the great I am. I am set free. I am a messenger of love. I walk with an awareness that I am here to transform humanity. I am peaceful. I am joyful. I am a healing medicine of love. Now let us remain in this powerful vibration as we sit for a few moments in the silence. Corinthians chapter 3, verse 14 reminds us, and with all these things, have love, which is the bond of perfection. And so it is. Namaste, y'all. Namaste.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Real quick, can you give us a little bit more of that? Yeah. Give us a little bit more of that. Everybody do me a favor. Stand with me.
Change the world.
that energy is different when you get up with it and you engage. And thank you. Let's give our musicians another round of applause. And please stay right there where you guys are. Just sit in that anointing. See, there's a difference between a musician and a minister of music. The word minister means to serve, right? There's a difference between a teacher and a minister. And when you surrender your gifts and you open your heart to serve and to give and to share, something else blows through you. You guys ever seen the miraculous? You ever see something happen to you that you just can't explain? It's like as soon as you offer yourself, whatever it is, where you going? They're like, no. But when you get out of the way, something else steps in, right? If you want to move, it's fine. I'm just messing with you. But I wanted you guys to stay there because I wanted you to just saturate in that experience for a second. You know, I want to talk this morning about patience, which is the final fruit of the Spirit. Well, there's one more after that. But patience is important because patience teaches us to slow down. Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a wonderful spiritual teacher who just transitioned, talked about the notion of taking our time. And if you're watching online and you're a part of our online community, hello there, how are you out there? You might know what I'm talking about. Sometimes when life is trying to do something, we move too fast. And it's like, as soon as you ever been in a car accident? Oh my God, if I had to just wait a few more seconds before I made that turn, I would have missed it. And I feel like, in my own life at times, the need to slow down is super important because when you slow down, you get a chance to investigate, to see what's going on, to see what's happening, to see what's trying to emerge, and to see what life is trying to do. Now, here's the beautiful thing about life. Life works with us through our personalities and through our temperaments. Some of us have a Ferrari, and that's our temperament. Vroom, right? And some of us have a Cadillac. It's just long and slow and calm and relaxed. No bumps. The shocks on that car, nice. But when we slow down and settle into who we are and we allow life to touch us, because see, that's the key. We allow life to touch us. Music, devotion, what they call in Hinduism, bhakti, right? One of the 8 limbs of yoga. This devotion, namaste, that right there. The bhakti path is a beautiful path. It's a lover of the divine. And when you see individuals that immerse themselves into that path, they have this drunken sort of look. We call it in the Pentecostal tradition the anointing, this smearing of this divine energy, this vibratory frequency that Michael Beckler calls the evolutionary impulse of the universe that manifests itself as both you and me, or who Joseph Campbell calls the hero of 1,000 faces, right? We pray to God who we can't see and overlook the God that we can see. I want you to look to your left and your right. Look at God. All the many faces of God in the room. They don't act like God. That's all right. You don't either. Right? When we slow down, that's how we listen. Some of us are working on our meditation practices, I'm sure. And in meditation, one of the things that you'll learn is that when you slow down, all the noise rises, right? So it's when I slow down and when they're singing, I want to go ahead and just move on to another part because that music is starting to make me feel something. But here's the beautiful thing about all of that stuff that bubbles up. Everything that rises does so to be healed. So music is a beautiful spiritual instrument because what it does is it pulls stuff up out of you. All of the hurt, all of the shame, all of the things that people have done. And you give yourself the chance to emote, right? You give yourself the chance to feel. Last week, one of the things that I said that Spirit kind of dropped on me was that the only way that life can get to the heart is through the chest. So life has to come and break you open sometimes. Things hurt, things happen to us, right? Sometimes life sucks, right? But when we learn to be patient with life and get the lesson, that's the key. When we move too fast, We miss the lesson and we have to repeat it over and over again. You ever heard that phrase, everywhere you go, there you are? Say that with me. Everywhere you go, there you are. And some of you in this place have been running for a very long time. Some of you that are watching right now have been running for a very long time. How do you know? Because I'm a runner. I ran for 13 years from spiritual leadership. And I taught and stayed on the road for a very long time. I used to laugh at pastors. You're doing what? They said what to you? Oh my God, nobody will never do that to me. What? They did what? What happened over there? Oh my God. See you next week. I'm going home and watch Netflix. Here I am. Life has other plans. When you slow down and get the message, I got the message about 12 years too late. Luckily, though, I was able to slow down and life caught me up because this was something I should have said yes to a long time ago. And I feel this within my own self, and so in my practice, what I do is I stay close to the flame because there are things that I have to catch up on just in my personal walk, right? And I'm sure there's things that all of you have to catch up on. And you kind of know that feeling where it's like, I should have said yes to this. I should have took that offer when it came around the first time. I meant to stop by there, but I kept saying, why did it take me so long to get here? Here's the beautiful thing about life. There's a mantra in the Old Testament that says, a day in the eyes of the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. So if you practice the art of patience and take your time and sit with whatever you have going on, wherever you are, whatever you feel you may have missed or lost out on, life catches you up just like that. Can we say yes to that?
Yes.
Patience is a virtue. Say that with me. Patience is a virtue. It is. For example, Miss Kara, I told you I was going to do this. I don't do anything crazy. I want to speak to the anointing that's on your life, that's been on your life since you were a little girl, and the call to ministry. I'm not quite sure how that call will work itself out, but I want to ask you in front of the whole church, would you continue to do meditation for us? Because there is something particular that Spirit is trying to do, and there's a position that life is trying to move you into ministry-wise. I'm not sure what that means to you. It's a very general word of knowledge, but you've always felt different your whole life, and you've done things in business and done things in corporate America, and I know corporate things that you've shared with me, but I'm looking at something different. There's a wonderful mantra in the Old Testament. It says, Malachi 3:18, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse so that there may be meat in mine house. Prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts, so that I will not open you up the windows of heaven, and you know the rest. Pour you out a blessing so that you won't have room enough to receive. That tithe is money, yes, but it's also a portion of our heart. There is a space in your life that God has always occupied that other people can't get to. And Spirit says that I put that space in your life for a reason. So friends can't, there's this, not quite satisfied. There's this, there's something else. I can't put my finger, this is what I hear you say. What is this? It's God. There's a thumbprint on your life. I don't know if it comes from your grandmother. I'm not sure who that grandmother, but there's a thumbprint on your life. And that thumbprint, the match for it is right here behind the sacred desk, whatever that means to you.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
So he mentioned Michael Beckwith. I went to a meditation retreat in Joshua Tree. It's New Year's meditation retreat. And I picked up the tapes for his life visioning class. And I tried the life visioning, and I asked myself, what is trying to express through me? And it said ministry, and I was like, no. So I stopped doing the life visioning process. I was like, no way. So I just wanted to share that with you. And my grandmother, my grandfather was a lay leader in the Baptist movement in Birmingham in the late 1800s, when near Birmingham's founding.
Wow.
It's like late 1870s, and the church was very central to the Clarkes, which is still my last name because
Wow.
I'm never married. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, I have a lot of their things, memorabilia. So the Baptist church was very central to their lives. She was the music minister.
Wow.
At the 16th Street Baptist Church, and then when she left it, her daughter, and I come from a family of musicians, so yeah. But anyway, you said my grandmother may have a fingerprint, and so I just wanted to connect that for you.
And it's not a parlor trick. Here's the wonderful thing about spirit. When you open your eyes to this world and the things that happen that we cannot explain, you don't have to throw away your rational mind. You don't have to throw away your scientific understanding or your academic brain. You open your eyes to the possibility that there could be more to life beyond what I can ask or think. And when you do that, there's a portion of your soul that opens up that you say yes to. And when you say yes to that, sometimes the very thing that you were pursuing all your life that you couldn't get snaps right into place. It does that. When we patiently wait on the Lord. You ever heard that phrase, wait on God, wait on God? What does it mean to wait on God, right? When you pray, move your feet, and next week we're going to talk about faith, but faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's this patiently waiting is holding fast to this vision of your life, this higher calling. There's something in me that tells me things are going to be okay even if I feel like I have lost or I don't have, right? Without a vision, the people perish, right? You've heard that? And this vision is the goal, the idea, the dream that you have for your life. It's fire in your belly, right? What do you love? What do you adore? What would you give almost anything for? With that level of energy, when you plug back into that, there is something that causes you to stand when life tells you to sit down. There is something that makes you wait patiently for something to evolve and not say a word until it happens and manifests. The just shall live by faith. Justice, righteous, the Zadik, the called out ones, the sent ones. Here's another verse for you. The earth moans and groans in anticipation for the sons and daughters of God. Jesus said, you are a city set on a hill that cannot be hid. There is potential in you. And our life changes when we can see ourselves the way that life sees us. So what are you saying, preacher? I'm telling you that there is something that there is to your life, all of you, you would not be here, that you could not put your finger on, but life called you here today. The mystery of that is to live in the question. John Shelby Spong, but way before he passed, I had a conversation with him, and he told me that, at his age, in his 80s, that he had more questions in life than answers. But one of the charges that he gave me was just this notion of living in the question. See, we get questions that come up in our lives, these feelings. I don't know. I don't know the next step. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. Where do I go from here? What do I do next? And that question messes with our rational mind. But that's a good thing. See, rationality is not the opposite of faith. It's the twin sister. Just like doubt is not the opposite of faith. In fact, doubting is a powerful, powerful spiritual practice because it's through negation sometimes that we arrive at faith. I want to watch my weight. Well, let me get a sugar-free Coke. I want to watch my intake of what? Let me get a sodium-free this. Through negation, we arrive sometimes at our purpose. So believe it or not, through your doubting of whether or not this is true, through your doubting of whether or not life will come through for you. Life comes through for everybody. Who said that? Life comes through for everybody else. Things don't oftentimes work out for me the way it works out for them. They're from a good family. It works out for them because they got money. It works out for them because their parents got money. It works out for them because they married into money. Oh, they just got lucky. Nothing ever works out for me, right? I had an elder told me one time, keep living. Because the very thing that you say will not work out for you be the very thing that will turn around in your favor. Life wants to make you laugh. If I can give any one of you a channel message from Spirit today, life wants to make you laugh. In the next 24 hours, some of you are going to see some radical changes in your life just because you came in this building. Here's the beautiful thing about synchronicity. You guys are from different parts of the world, life stories, all that stuff, different parts of the city. And for some reason, all of you guys collectively ended up here. What are the odds of that? I'm from Sumter, South Carolina, born in 1987, small rural town. How did I end up in Birmingham, Alabama today? What are the odds of that? What sort of creative intelligence is behind my life? What sort of creative intelligence is behind your story? Some of you are from Birmingham. Others of you are from out of town. Others of you have family out of the country. How did you end up here? The same creative intelligence that could have orchestrated you to be right here, right now, under the sound of my voice, is the driving force of your life. The only thing I'm asking you to do today is to say yes to it. To not lose hope. To not lose faith. What is faith? Faith in Latin is fidelity. It's honoring and respecting a cause. It's standing with something. It's staying true. It's sticking with something no matter what. Well, it looks like it's not working out. I'm going to stay right here. In the Old Testament, like a tree planted by the rivers of Jordan. The beautiful thing about trees is you don't know that they're eating because their roots are underground. So when you're looking at the outside, there's something underneath that's feeding and providing sustenance to it. See, this message of hope and patience and waiting that I'm talking to you about is a message that you know deep down in your hearts because it resonates with you. Each one of you are spiritual warriors. In the Buddhist tradition, we call it bodhisattvas. You are individuals who have committed that no matter what, I am going to work this thing out. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to try. I'm going to see. And through your curiosity, the very vehicle that you're using to investigate and try where doubt is coming from will be the entry point for life to come into your life and give you the thing that you were working so hard for. See, I love now when people tell me no. I love it. I love when life shows up and shows up. Because what it does is that no that I'm receiving on the outside, that's, I ain't got it today, Doc. Okay. Nah, you can't have that. You can't go there. Sorry, you're declined. Sorry, your credit ain't good enough. I love that. Because when life comes in, there's a scripture in the Old Testament, when the enemy comes in like a flood, when life comes in, there is something in you that stands up and says, not so. Oh, you say no? Okay, we'll see who has the final say. See, that kind of blessed assurance, this is the reality that the people of God live from. This is the reality and the strength and the power that the sons and daughters of light live from. This is the reality that the sons and daughters who talk about this vibratory energy, who talk about channeling the universe, this is the reality that we live from. It's a responsibility. Who's ready for it? Who's ready to say yes to this? See, some of you have been living this truth your whole life. So folks on the outside say, oh, well, she's mean. She's tough. Why is she so mean? Because she's been through something. So when you come to her or him crying and whining and complaining, they can look you in your eyes and say it's going to be okay. Because they've seen worse. Me and Jamie were talking yesterday, Miss Jamie, and we were talking about the difference between standing on the outside, calling someone from the deep versus going to get them. See, in the New Testament, right after the assassination of Jesus, it said that he descended into hell and then rose back up. There's a reason why the chakras are vertical. Because it's easy to stand on the outside and say, hey, come here, come up a little higher. But when you have the strength and capacity to go down into the darkness and grab yourself and pull yourself back up, there is a tenacity that you have that the world just can't break. You can't hurt my feelings because you can't bind them. You can't make me cry because I've cried for so long. You can't call me out of my name because I know who I am. See, that strength of character. And there is an anti-strength movement that's out that says you don't have to be strong. And that's okay. But there are times when you need to be strong. And there are times when you need to let go. It's not your dependency on one side or the other. It's your ability to stand in the middle. Ram Dass said, nowhere standing. Nowhere standing. When you stand in the middle and stand firm on the truth, what's the truth? It's the truth of your existence. It's the truth that you are not just alive. You are life itself. The life that's blowing through my body is also blowing through your body, right? The life that's blowing through her body is also blowing through your body. We used to say in the personal development world that you are one man or woman or one person from the person that you need to meet, right? Think about the coincidences of that. Just think about that for a minute. One man, one person away from the person that you need to meet. So you mean to tell me that on the other side of this phone call, I'm nervous to pick up the phone. I'm nervous to go on that interview. I'm nervous to ask that question. I'm not sure if I should go there. On the other side of that fear is the answer to the question that you've been waiting on your whole life. So the feeling that I feel in this moment, the nervousness that I'm dealing with right now, is that enough to stop me from getting the very thing I've been working hard to obtain my whole life? Right? Am I in the house yet? Am I in the house yet? I just want to make sure. What does that have to do with patience? I think that we're too hard on ourselves. Our expectation for ourselves and for this world that we create for ourselves of comfort and for pleasure, it gets the best of us sometimes. There's nothing wrong with visioning, but some things takes time, right? We all know this. And you can't shortcut some of these visions because some of these things that have to be created in our lives, they require lots of stuff to be moved around. So what I'm asking you to do is, while you are waiting and while you are manifesting and while you are working on your life, number one, the stuff that comes up, the no's, the antagonism, the opposition, see it as just a natural unfolding of the process of you creating the life that you are trying to build for yourself. Nobody's picking on you. God is selecting you. That's why you're experiencing the drought. That's why they're not coming. That's why you're experiencing the frustration. You're not being picked on, you're being picked out. You're important. See, you can't have the testimony, old school, without the test. They go together. The wheat and the tare go together. They grow together. It's God that does the separation. You want the corn, get through the husk. You got to pull the husk off. You want the anointing, the olives have to be crushed. I don't want that. That doesn't feel good. I want it now. That doesn't feel, that hurts. Right? You've been through worse. Tell your neighbor you've been through worse. You've been through worse. You've been through worse. And some of you have, and I'm almost done. You know, preachers have 35 closings. You've been through worse. So understanding that, tying it back to reminding yourself of who you are, you get centered into God consciousness, knowing that you don't pray to God, you pray from God. Who is God? God is the energy, the ability to stand when life tells me, or my interpretation of life tells me to sit down. It's the willingness to see that what comes up is coming up because it needs to be healed. What's coming up is also the unfolding of just the naturalness of life. People. Let me just say that. People. There are some things in life that are just human in nature. They're acting up. That's all right. They're human. That's what they do. They're such and such and such. That's okay. That's just what they do. They said such and such and such. That's okay. They're people. That's fine. Right? When we see it all in the context of the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture? The bigger picture is you. What do you want out of life? What are you willing to do to get it? That sounds bad. What are you willing to accept in order to get it? Right? What do you want out of life, and how connected are you to that inner vision of yourself? So that you start to see yourself as a victor and not a victim. When you do that, people of God, you know what happens? You start to partner with life. And you co-create with life. And you partner, according to Michael Egan, with the capacities that so easily beset you. So these things that come up out of you and out of other people, you see them as just healing crises, my healing workers. Oh yeah, I prayed for this and the opposite happened. That's okay, that's a healing crisis. That needed to come up and get out of the way anyway, because there's something else that I needed to get to. I thought the conversation was going to go this way. It will, just not at this time. This needed to come up and get out of the way so we can get to that. Because I didn't realize that this was in the way. So be grateful that the stuff that comes up is happening. Because imagine if it didn't come up and it was there and you didn't see it. Yeah. So you'd be blocking. You pushing, and there's resistance there and you can't see it. So what happens? Life allows it to come up. We call it triggers. So when you pray for good, bad seems to happen. That's good. It needs to go ahead and get up and on out the way. That's good. So now we can get on with the business of visioning. Now we can get on with the business of imagining the possibilities that can unfold for me and for you and for everyone around me. This is how we patiently wait on God. We work with what is. The prophets were always asking the Old Testament, what's in your house? I don't have this, I don't have that. What's in your house? So let me ask you today, what's in your house? Because I promise you, the very thing that you're looking for is right within your own heart and within your own house in seed form. When you surrender to this evolutionary impulse that we call God, that we call spirit, that operates beyond what we can ask or think, that supersedes our conscious and unconscious mind, you open the door for possibility. This is how you patiently wait for God. This is how you work with spirit. And when you do this, you grow up. And you stop being children of God. And you become sons and daughters of God. You grow up in this thing of ours. You are no longer children of God. Neville Goddard said it like this, and I'll close. Neville Goddard said, God is man asleep and man is God awakened. See, this is the meat. This is the adult version of spiritual practice. That life sometimes does things that I'm not sure what in the world is going on. But there is something in me that can close its eyes and hold fast to the vision inside when the vision outside doesn't match what I feel in here. Until what shows up out there matches what's in here. That's the adult version of spiritual practice. That is the path that you've been walking, whether you know it or not. And that is what I challenge you to do. When you have love, or where you have love, love deeper. Where you have worked, go back and work again. Where you had a no, go back, because I believe there's a yes there. Where you have shut down, I challenge you to open up. Where there was no patience, I challenge you to develop patience. Where there was bhakti and worship and shakti put, and the evolutionary impulse of the universe moving all over your body, I challenge you to go deeper into that experience, because there is something waiting for you on the other side of that. And that something is the life that you have always imagined that you can have. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Communication. That's his next series. I've only known Reverend Jesse a few weeks. I'm kind of scared about that patience thing he talked about. Okay. And now it's time for our offertory. The nice thing about Unity is the loving spirit and the gratitude that we all have for our Unity family and for this community. And we are so grateful for all of you guys, because without you, we simply would not be here. Thank you so much. Now, if you will take your offering in your hand. And we have a bulletin since we do not have our projector up today. And if you'll repeat with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God, and so it is. The offertory, used to we would take it up, but after COVID we have bowls in the back of the room at the end of each aisle. When you leave, take your offering out of your purse or your pocket and put it in the bowls. Or if you get all the way to the lobby, there's a bowl on the table in the lobby also.
And you can give online.
And you can give online. Thank you, Carol.
Yes.
Y'all ready for the peace song? If everybody will join us for the peace song, stand please.
Surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God watches over us.
I am the power of God.
Oh, goodness. The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever I am,
Wherever I am,
God is,
and
all is well. Yeah, go home. I give up. My brain is scrambled.